This morning I have along Joe Silbaugh and Brian Allger, and we're here to present a redevelopment assistance capital program grant to you. Conrads Old Mill LLP is the applicant for the grant, and the sub-applicant, and the economic development will be the applicant of the grant. The project will be located in East Hanover Township, and it'll be a market which will offer Amish sales and craft sales. In fact, it'll have a family entertainment venue. The market will initially be open 3 to 4 days a week, with the possibility of it opening up to 6 days a week. And it'll kind of mimic a market that is in Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania. And the grant will be used for infrastructure, for stormwater, water and sewer, road improvements, and the grant is in the amount of $900,000.
And you want to tell them where the grant is coming from?
The grant is coming from DCED, and it is from the Redevelopment Assistant Capital Program. And Joe and Brian are here to answer any questions regarding project-specific questions.
I have a couple questions.
Go ahead.
Joe, it looks like you're with a bank. Are you also owner in the?
No, we have Bank Realty is a sale leaseback company. We do consulting work for Atlantic Central Bank, which is in Camp Hill, and they're a banker's bank.
So you're a financer of the project, or are you part owner?
I'm the general partner.
General
I'm
partner.
the general partner. First Capital Equities is the general partner, and I'm the president of First Capital Equities.
Okay.
We also did the markets at Shrewsbury, and I'm the general partner in that, and I had the largest financial stake in that, and have considerable financial investment in this.
And Brian's role is?
He's an investor and a member of First Capital Equities.
Okay. Then I guess you said, like the market at Shrewsbury, you also own and operate that one?
Yes.
Okay. And I was online and I looked further down the line and I saw one in Maryland, and I was wondering if that's part of this,
No.
with the Penn Dutch
No.
name.
No.
That's not.
That's not. That seems that they like to use the Penn Dutch.
Cockleysville?
Yeah. That's I have a lot of vendors from Cockeysville moved to our market.
Okay.
From that, but it's not related. It's in a shopping center. Ours is a freestanding 22-acre site along Interstate 83, halfway between exits 4 and 8, which is Shrewsbury and Glenrock,
Okay.
in a rural setting. And I grew up in Shrewsbury, which was a rural community, sort of like where we are now at exit 85 of 81 and Route 934 of 22.
And so you're buying the mill and refurbishing it, or you're renting it?
What we have bought 12 acres adjacent to it. The next parcel is Conrads Mill, and Jim Conrad is a partner in the group, and we have a lease purchase on that 20 acres. So we're buying that as he is removing the trucks and other stuff that he's had there for years.
Let's just call it what it is, junk.
He's turned it into cash for himself. So
I understand that.
As long as we just don't want to close on it, so it is until it's removed. So we have a 2-year lease purchase, and it has an option to extend, another option to extend. We have our investors are 6 of us. We've already put in $2 million, and we're going to be putting another $1 million into it. We've acquired the land beside us. The total project cost will be about $10 million. That will be having.
Well, since the county's being asked to guarantee the portion of this, could we be named as second mortgage or something on, or somehow get a guarantee from you about payment?
As for that, yeah, it would probably be third mortgage holder, because we'll have part of it will be a mortgage on it, and then we're looking for some state financing. We've talked, so it would be a third mortgage position. I don't know how. We're more than.
Okay.
50%
just
guarantee
looking for
that
some
and
kind of
do that.
guarantee for the taxpayers.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
yeah, 'cause
And Joellen, it'll be a reimbursement program. No funds will be, they'll have expended all the funds. And then the state will look at that and go through it with a fine tooth comb to make sure that all those funds are eligible.
Right.
Once they determine that it's eligible, they will only reimburse them at that point.
And my concern is if they deem something ineligible, I don't want the taxpayers getting hung with the bill, so.
Well, that was my thinking, and I'm very happy to go along and help you with this. But I'd like something in writing, a little agreement between us and you. It says here that, you know, you would pay any expenses for ineligible expenses for the county, but I think we should have a simple agreement that says that in addition to just saying it on the paper here, where we, both parties sign it and say that if an expense is deemed ineligible and the county's not liable, that your company will reimburse us, to get a little formalized agreement there. That was my concern.
Brian, witness the.
You want your counsel to draft that, or would you like us to?
I think she can handle that.
No, she's seen it.
She's seen it, I had her, you looked at it yesterday, didn't you? Yeah, over there, the state part. And you're okay with it, right? Yep. So, if you, we'll have her get you a little something that just formalizes that in the event there would be a ineligible expense that we would be liable for, that you will reimburse us.
Don't have any problem. What we've done in the past on, bonding issues with roads and stuff, I've developed other sites in town. About $70 million worth of other projects.
I'll make a motion that we move ahead, provided we have some sort of collateral or appropriate signed agreement that we will be reimbursed by you if there's anything deemed ineligible.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, so ordered. Go ahead.
I think I read a little bit about this. Does this pass through all the planning stages with East Hanover and so on? Or permitting stages?
It's not through all the permitting stages at this point. With the tourist overlay district has been approved. It's now the land development plan is being submitted, and our plans for development of that parcel are coming through the county and the township at this point in time.
Can you give me kind of a best case scenario and the timeline, and also a little bit of the features of the family entertainment aspects?
If you go on our website at www.marketsshrewsbury.com, it sort of shows what the venues are there on that, and then what we've I'll answer the family entertainment parts of it first. What we've done down there has been our car shows, our Easter egg hunt, our Christmas things, our farmers weekend. Then we do several nonprofit things. We have Penmar, which is a covered workshop for disabled people. We have a big Irish festival, give the entire site to them for a weekend. It's their fundraiser, brings some business into the market, but it's their biggest one. They raised $50,000 last year, which was their biggest one they ever had, and that was the third year we had it at the market. The other thing we did was a barbecue cook-off, which was first national event on that. We have a car show the fourth Friday of every month. So we're starting into finding out what people want, and then we tried a straw bale maze thing, and it didn't quite work where it was. We need to relocate that, so we've been in business for 10 years there in that location. I've been adding different things every year. We have play sets set up. We've actually have a set of gazebos set up, and we've had 3 weddings. I mean, like, we're never open on Sunday. And it's interesting that they'd want to come to the Amish market for it, but it's so pretty there that if you stand and look at it, you're looking down over a valley, so it's just a nice setting.
So how many jobs do you anticipate this will create?
We think that the first phase is going to be between 150 and 185, just to get the Amish market up and operational once we get those people into it and then you start if we have big shed and outdoor sales and that type of thing, that brings quite a few extra subcontractors back into the market. We're putting $10 million into the site.
That's
so
a
this is
significant
just the
amount of
first-
real estate
The
tax.
first parcel, which is only 12 acres, we're going to have 10 million into the road improvements and the building.
Timeline, kind of best case scenario?
Part of it depends on the permits from DEP and Penn Dot. We think we'll be through the township approvals with in 4 or 5 months. That we'd like to be able to break ground in the August timeline. But if Penn Dot and DEP take longer, then we'll be putting in a sewer facility that would be able to support our entire complex and other developments there, so we wouldn't have other.
Opportunity to visit Conrad's mill, and he was very generous in letting me to go inside, and I like history, and it was like they were producing flour one day and the next day they shut down. So the mill is complete. I guess my question is twofold. Will you preserve that and make flour there and sell it on site? Will it be dismantled and moved somewhere else? Or are there other plans for the mill? I mean, the operational part.
Odd you asked that. We're just ready to place our ad, and we're asking to see if we can find a miller. I have a friend in York County who sold his business, who has helped us restore 3 mills in York County, and we did Cross's Mill was the most recent one. And he has a lot of the old stone. Conrads was converted, and I don't get the date wrong, but I think it was about
Back
in
in
the 40s, in the 40s during World War II, when they got rid of the water power and moved to white flour. What we'd like to sort of, and he has the stones in his barn in York, and he'd like to give them to us and help to restore the mill. So our question becomes then in phase 2, once we get Conrads, where do we put it on the site so that we can, so we're out of the floodplain, what can we do to take it back? And we like the idea of having an Amish Mennonite, somebody who is of the, that area, to be able to show what it is, because our goal was to be able to have some reenactment. I have some friends from my class in high school that don't do the war reenacting, but do the reenacting of settlers. We've talked to the gentleman with 112, forget his we would look at.
I want to say thank you for being sensitive to that historical error and trying to recreate that. I'm thrilled that you're going to do that and produce commerce and jobs and everything. It's like the whole package. It's really exciting. I guess my last question would be, have you talked to or are somehow you connected to the Star Barn and that whole operation, or is this totally separate? You two've never talked?
That's how I met Jim Conrad.
Okay.
My daughter has a financial planning business in Harrisburg, Grandview Asset Management. They introduced me to Dr. Barr. Dr. Barr said, I need some help with Jim. That's what we can do to preserve that piece. So I went over to Jim, we took a look, and Brian and I said, this would be a great place for an Amish market. We could do that again, but then we started looking, if we did it, we'd have to tear the whole mill down and we'd have to move that on. And then Jim said, well, we just sold the other parcel to the other guys, and they're not going to build anything on it, so that's why we bought the 12-acre parcel back.
Our solicitors getting us in trouble.
The labor union, there was going to be a school.
Yeah.
Well,
Trade labor union.
Yeah, and they were very congenial, and the town's been working with us to help structure it.
So again, you see these.
An old county bridge that sits right adjacent to the mill, that's down from the real one that gets closed in the 40s when they relocated 934, and we're looking to see if we could use that, because we're looking at that we'd do buggy and wagon rides back and forth between the two. We'd put a parking lot on the other side, so once they're there, they could actually go from site to site without having to go back out on 934 and keep our traffic in on the site, sort of like Hershey does with their things, sort of like Williamsburg does with theirs. Once they're in